Recently I was recording a video in which I tried to recreate certain tones. I was comparing what I was playing, my sound, to the sound on the record. And something weird happened. His B string is a bit tuned down. My guitar was 100% in tune, but it was definitely off with the record. Okay, that happened before, maybe the record was a bit down or a bit up, but no, this was even weirder because it was off on one string only. So I tuned that string to match the record, resulting into something I was not expecting. My guitar sounded way better. Detuned. What? Okay, so here's a little snippet from the intro. And with my guitar, it is out of tune, definitely. It doesn't sound nice together. But if we take a look at the tuner, my notes are spot on. You see, right in the middle. So now let's detune until we are at his. Okay, that's about it, I think. So it should be super out of tune, but when I'm playing these notes, it sounds pretty good. So hold on, what's happening? Is that guitar wrong? Is that tuner wrong? Is that recording wrong? Well, neither is wrong. Let me explain. All intervals, which is just the distance between two notes like a fifth or a third, are based on the ratio to one another. For instance, the octave is 2 to 1, meaning the frequency of the octave is twice the frequency of the lower note. This means that the A string, for example, is ringing twice as fast if you play it an octave higher. The third is 5 to 4, and we can do this to each interval. So using these ratios to determine the intervals is called just intonation. And these intervals are how it actually should be, how they sound 100% accurate. This is also how they occur in nature, the harmonic overtones we're hearing in our voice or in our instruments. So this is beautiful, but also very problematic for a lot of reasons. Because we're calculating each note to the C, the ratios of other notes to each other in that key all get messed up. The 2 chord in the key of C, for example, D and an F. So that happens if you stay in one key. But if you switch keys, oh man. These intervals are off by so many cents, and that's why it's very problematic, as you can hear. Wait a minute, you said cents. What do cents have to do with it? Okay, so let's jump back to modern times. Nowadays, a cent is derived from the tuning system we use today. It's called the 12-tone equal temperament. From now on, the 12th tet. It's how I tune my guitars. It's how all music you hear on the radio is tuned. This tuning system divides the octave into 12 parts that are equally distant from one another, creating 12 semitones or half steps. These are the frets on the guitar, or the notes on the piano. All these semitones are measured in cents. So each half tone, or each fret, or each piano key, whatever, is 100 cents apart, exactly 1/12 of an octave, which is 1200 cents apart. So, but why is this an imperfect system, like you just told us? So we learned that in just intonation, these errors are really huge. Oh. With the 12-tone equal temperament system, we minimize these errors. And then we spread them evenly, so each interval is just marginally off. So yes, each interval is a little imperfect, also in relation to the root note, but just slightly. Wait a minute, that slightly off-sounding interval can actually be pretty annoying. Didn't you ever tune your guitar by ear, thinking you're exactly there, but then the tuner says, you're quite off. The tuner you're using is based on the 12th tet system, with all the imperfections that go with it. So it's not weird that your ear tried to adjust to these little imperfections at all. So now back to the song we talked about. scar tissue. Could it be that John detuned his guitar specifically for that intro to match the exact ratio of 5/4 of the third interval? Let's do a simple calculation. Math. The frequency of D is 294 Hz. The 5/4 ratio brings us to an F sharp that results in a tone almost 3 Hz lower than the F sharp from the 12th tet. So the major third is always a little bit too high compared to what it actually should be. 13.69 cents too high, to be precise. Wait a minute. I know that number. When I detuned my guitar to match John Frusciante's tone, I had to detune my, 13 or 14 cents lower to match his sound. That is incredibly out of tune according to the tuner. Whew. So now you might think, why doesn't everyone do that? Well, now I tuned that string to match the lower major third, right? But what if I continue playing and I want to play a minor 6th interval on that B string? Wow, that sounds horrible. Yes, because the minor 6th interval actually needs to be corrected the other way around. So we need to tune the B string 30 cents higher to get the right interval. So unless you're absolutely sure you're never going to use that string for anything other than just one interval, it could be pretty cool to experiment with this. I used it when playing a G major chord, and that open B string sounded a little sharp, although it was tuned right. So just slightly lowering it can result in a much more pleasing sound. Let me show you. So all strings are in tune. When I play a G major chord, and now slightly lowering that B string. Do you hear that it sounds way less dissonant? Although the B string is, wow, extremely out of tune according to the tuner. And I found that especially that major third interval, just like Frusciante is playing in scar tissue, can be quite harsh in the 12th tet. So I think he made the right decision, slightly detuning his major third for that recording, which resulted in a less dissonant sounding intro overall. If you ever run into some tuning problems and you're not trusting your ears anymore, just remember that tuning it perfectly to the standards of a guitar tuner is never perfect. And if you're up to it, feel free to disagree. Better tune to a tuner if you're not sure. Better tune to a tuner. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This was Paul. I hope you liked this video. Let me know by leaving a reaction or a comment below and clicking the thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Thank you so much. Have a great day.